Here we have the foundation of a new way of telling stories. So what we've done that we think is a little unique is that we've made this online fiction into the main experience. And it really tells a story that you have to discuss your way through, just like you discuss things on Facebook. And then we've combined it. We have a collaboration with the European Space Agency. So while you're discussing your way through the story and you're looking at fictional film clips, you're reading emails and things like that, you're also looking at documentary footage of how space works and how particle works and where we are in the universe, the latest theories about the physics behind the birth of the universe and so on. So we're really not distinguishing between the fictional part, which is very character-driven and it's a family conflict about a girl rebelling against her father, and the factual part, which is about our place in the universe. It's part of the same story. Doing that at a professional level, we have Hollywood stars, we have a film director from the TV series The Killing, which is quite popular globally, and combining it with documentary in an experience that you pay for and that is permanent. I don't think I've seen that done anywhere. 6 years ago, I've been doing this for 13 years. About 6 years ago, we made a discovery that if we combined social media with gameplay and fiction, footage, film, we could make a story on the internet. And what happened was we had a client who wanted to recruit more students for the electrical engineering education in Denmark. And we really made an 8-month-long fictional adventure about electricity, and it worked very well. And we did the same in 2009 up to the climate summit in 2009. And then I got the opportunity to make Cloud King. And when the Danish Film Institute asked me what did I want to do my story about, this was the first time that anybody had ever asked me that question, what do I want to do? And it just seemed impossible not to have a scientific element. The science had become so much a part of the stories we tell, and it works so well on the internet to combine fact with fiction that it really came out of that. This whole introduction of digital tools is not something that every teacher has the time for, or the inclination for. So what we found was that what the teachers really needed was something that spoke on the kids' terms, and the kids are all digital natives, and not all the teachers are digital natives. So the teachers really needed something that the kids could embrace, but that the teachers didn't necessarily need to understand. Demanding that teachers understand advanced digital stories is not a good idea at the present time. But the kids have no problem understanding it. And I think that's a big challenge for the time we're in for teaching, because the kids want digital, and the teachers are in a transition to digital, and that's a big gap. There's any doubt about that. I think the next generation of teachers who have grown up with social media, I mean, we must remember Facebook is only 5 years old. Video, skipping from video to text to game and back again, they will think of that as naturally as, you know, the current generation think of books. And they will have, what is also happening right now is that middleware is making it much, much easier to make these things. So quite naturally, these things will become better and better, more accessible, and the teachers will be more and more ready for them. But I don't think you should overestimate the engagement value. I still think that teaching comes down to having a good teacher in the room. I think The new media are very, very good for creating motivation, for getting young people interested, and for giving them a vocabulary. But when it comes to, actual knowledge, usable knowledge getting into your brain, I don't think anything beats a real live teacher who loves what he or she does. I can say that we are developing season 2 of Cloud Chamber, which will continue to explore the universe. And then I have a new project, which is an entirely different scientific field, and a different fictional story as well. I'm the child of biologists, so I really think that it's an evolutionary necessity that the internet becomes a storytelling medium, just like film became the industrial age's storytelling medium. So I think this medium has the potential to be just as gripping and just as emotional and just as strong as traditional media like books and film. But I also think that this medium has something quite unique in that, for one thing, it's social, which is a whole new thing in a story. And for another, the fact that the documentary aspect actually makes the story stronger. I think if you try to put real space science into a feature film, it becomes difficult. There are some good examples like 2001 or Gravity, the new movie, but it's still very limited what you can actually put in a feature film of knowledge. But there's no limits at all to the amount of knowledge you can put into a social online fiction, because the users are themselves choosing what they want to spend their time on. So, just as we can allow users to dive into the characters and the story and emotions, we can also allow them to dive into particle physics and black holes and the birth of the universe. And if we can get these two things to fit together into an emotional whole, then we have something quite new. You should come to cloudchambermystery.com, and the first 3 levels are free. So, we really put it out there and people can try it. There's an hour or 2 free. And if they like it, then we ask them to pay about what a movie ticket costs. And I think we estimate there's 10 to 20 hours of entertainment and learning in there in all. But if you really get swallowed by the space physics or the personal relationships, then you can spend 50 or 100 hours in there, no problem.